Hello. It's been a while. I should have done this probably like a week ago, but I just keep not quite wanting to do things in a smart way, let's say. um like many times I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this for 2 or 3 hours or more and then and then later in the day I'll do this other stream and I'll after a while I just I don't know. I guess you just don't, and you end up not feeling like doing it. I guess that's all there is to it. Even though I feel like doing it, and I don't know, voice acting is quite a toll. All right, 7 a.m. There's nobody else in classroom 2A. One second. I take a seat at my desk and flip through my workbook. There's still 30 minutes until morning homeroom. I've got time to kill until my classmates start arriving. The classroom is lively as break begins after fourth period. My school has a cafeteria, so only about half of the students stay in the room. It's mostly girls that stay behind. The girls think the cafeteria is a bit too liberal with the seasoning. So... We girls tend to enjoy our lunches as a group. Oh, right, I forgot we're Rin Tosaka right now. Sorry. It's fine. I forgot about this part. Like, we really got to get through the prologue and maybe a little further. We'll see.
ありがとう、三枝さん。けどごめんなさい。私今日は学食なんです。今朝は寝過ごしてしまってお弁当を作る余裕がなかったものですから。あ、いや、そうなんですか。ごめんなさい。そうとも知らず呼び止めてしまって。私余計なことしましたね。
Sagusa looks guiltily at her feet. Among the refined and well-behaved students of Class A, she's the most demure. For some reason, she's really nice to me.
余計なことだなんてそんなことはありません。今日はたまたまだから気にしないで。また明日これに懲りず声をかけてください。
I let her down as gently as I can and offer a genuine smile.
あ、はい。でも遠坂さんでも寝過ごすことがあるんですね。
Perhaps my smile made her feel better. Sagusa turns back to her table, looking relieved. It's adorable. Yukika Sagusa isn't drop-dead gorgeous, but her smile always puts everyone around her at ease.
ええ、そうなんです。なんとかごまかしてますけど、本当は寝ぼすけなんですよ、私。部活だって朝起きられないから入ってないんです。
Sagusa somehow maintains an elegant air even when startled. Watching her reaction is always so calming, but that doesn't mean I have time to just stand here and talk. If I keep up a conversation with someone so disarming, the real me is bound to show up herself. Oh, okay. This is interesting. As I've said before, I've watched the Dean's adaptation of Fate and saw the Unlimited Blade Works anime and the movies for Heaven's Feel. And I have wondered this for a while. I mean, I get a general idea of the characters, but it's a little hard to tell like how self-aware they are and stuff. And right here, it really is just like showing like, yeah, she knows she's a bitch. She never wants to talk to people. She's antisocial. She really would just be... She's not even tsundere. I think she's just a mean person. I have always suspected this, but I thought like, well, maybe she's just like very professional and strict with herself. And so she doesn't want to scare people off, so she just doesn't talk. She just acts standoffish, you know? But I was like very suspicious when, you know, people like to call her tsundere, but that's only because she's talking to Shiro. And then, you know, she likes Shiro. So spoilers. But yeah, it's really weird because I have thought a lot, like every other character she talks to, like Shinji, all the servants, she's just a bitch. She's straight up just mean, and that's it. There's no hard exterior, soft interior. Like, no. She is nicer to somebody she loves, but she's generally just mean. Okay. Because I've been confused when people say, "Oh, she's a great I just said it too. Tsundere. She's a great tsundere. She's the best example of a tsundere, and it's like, if that's what a tsundere is actually supposed to be in real life, I understand. It's just in anime, I always got the feeling that tsunderes were supposed to literally be mean because they don't know how to react around people, and if they just start socializing and become more extroverted, they will end up being normal, or actually normal, like normal or sociable. Maybe not quite sociable, but at least normal, sociable. But in this case, yeah, that's why I was confused with Rin. But yeah, like I think this is like showing that she's not a tsundere, in my opinion, at least. Although the anime definitely puts her as a tsundere because you don't know her inner thoughts, and you only hang out with her from Shiro's point of view because Shiro is the main character. Honestly, though, I have wondered this because Heaven's Feel hinted at this. Maybe Rin and Shiro are deuteragonists? I guess we'll see. I mean, this one part is with Rin. Maybe it's supposed to be a fake out. I guess we'll find out. But I do wonder, like, if there's going to be sections where we switch to Rin's point of view or something, or maybe you see Rin's point of view more in the other two routes, because I feel like the first route is way more the Shiro route, and then the second route is kind of the Shiro and Rin route, and then the third route is the Rin and Sakura route. Yeah, it's not even the Shiro route really at that point. Like maybe a little bit, but not too much.
それじゃあ食堂に行ってきます。三枝さんもごゆっくり。
I'm gonna keep up my tea to help my throat. Not that I'm gonna be voice acting much. Like reading, but you know, I'm not gonna try to do the high pitch girl voices. But luckily, there aren't many. And again, I'm not gonna address the school kids at all. Well, except the guys, I guess. A little bit. Sugusa and I exchange some graceful greetings as she returns to her friends. I see that she's eating with Kaede, Makidera, and Kane Himuro, people we won't care about in about an hour. Alright, wasn't Sugusa the track and field club manager? Makidara and Himuro are the track and field club's rising stars. Makidera is a bad influence with whom I go window shopping on days off. Okay. No, don't remember this person. But I don't know Himuro too well.
売られたね、ユキッチ。だから言ったでしょ。遠坂は弁当持ってこないって。釣りたかったらあいつの分も飯用意しないとね。マキ、それは私たちも食堂に移動すればいいだけの話では。
Okay, I vaguely feel like I don't recognize the girl in the middle from the anime, but like I feel like I vaguely remember the other two girls, barely, but you know, a little bit. I think.
ダメダメ、食堂は狭いんだから。弁当組が座れるスペースなんてねっての。それに遠坂と同席してみなさい。男どもの視線がうざいのなんの。前の休みだってさ、二人で遊びに行ったのにあいつだけ得しちゃってさ。やだよね、美人を鼻にかけた優等生は。
I was gonna say swanky? Oh right, she is rich. Although I don't know how well she portrays it, but I guess, oh yeah, she does have that extra red coat on her right now, I believe. Or most of the time, at least. Makidera takes hold of Sagusa's desk as she continues to rant about me. Despite her foul mouth, she actually wears a kimono really well, like a picturesque Japanese beauty. Not that this freaking matters.
牧野氏、君の陰口は遠坂城に聞こえているようだが。
Meanwhile, Hamuro's cool and solid demeanor are a complete foil to that of Makidara.
やべ、遠坂に聞かれた。ゲゲ、めっちゃ睨んでるじゃん、あいつ。別に遠坂さん、マキちゃんを睨んでなんかないと思うけど。睨んでんだよ、あれ。あいつは笑ってる時が一番怖いんだから。なんだよ、いいじゃんか、口ぐらい。多めに見ろよ。私と遠坂の仲だろ。たい焼きおごってやっただろ。
Kaede, Makidara, puffs her cheeks. No, this is stupid. Honestly, like, Tosaka sounds kind of like manly voice compared to a really girly voice anyway, so. Kaede Makidara puffs her cheeks out in a pout, waving her disposable chopsticks in the air. I feel like that's kind of more the vibe anyway. Would you believe that her hobby is collecting wind chimes? The world works in strange ways. At any rate, it's rude to Sagusa to stare at the three of them. Caught between me and the foul-mouthed Makidara, Sagusa looks like she doesn't know what to do with herself.
気にしないでいいのよ、三枝さん。それと牧寺さん、おごらされたのは私で、品物はたい焼きではなくクレープでした。無意識に事実を改ざんする悪癖、次あたりに直さないと考えますよ。マジ怖え、あの笑顔。
Makidara holds up her lunchbox lid like some kind of shield. I bid the odd trio farewell, leave the classroom, and slide the door close. Oops.
なんだよ、大差ないじゃんか、たい焼きもクレープも。どっちも甘いの、皮で包んでるんだからさ。
Makidara utters something blasphemous for a girl. Those are very different things, to be fair. Like, taiyaki like, it's practically a kid's treat, whereas crepes are like, at least for Japan, seemingly high class.
たい焼きとクレープが同じですって？
Is she even human? Are all desserts the same to her? Yes. If I'd known that her taste buds can't distinguish Fleur's 500 yen very, very berry from an 80 yen taiyaki at Edo Maya. Damn you, Kaede Makidara. I could have saved 420 yen. Is she that money conscious? I'm trying to remember that from the anime. I don't know. I mean, she's rich, but yeah, admittedly, she's not like spending money a whole bunch either. But I don't know how rich she is. Oh yeah, I think that she said at one point that she spent a whole bunch of money on getting like really high quality gems for her magic, of course.
何本気で増やしがってるんだ、私。
I must still be tired from last night. Cafeteria sounds like a pain, so I'll just buy some bread from the counter and eat on the roof. Purchase my lunch and head to the unoccupied roof. Though it's different in the summertime, during the winter, the roof is a convenient place to eat that other students tend to avoid. It's too cold to hang out here during lunch, but that's a small price to pay for privacy.
さて、とりあえずご飯と。
Shiro? I indulge in the tomato sandwich and hot lemon drink I bought from the cafeteria. Tomato sandwich? What the heck is a tomato sandwich? Just a sandwich with tomato in it? It's a simple lunch, made all the more delicious by the fact I can enjoy it up here in peace. I finish the sandwich and sip on the warm, lemony drink. Warm? Okay. Warm? You sure about that one? Alright. Oh, I see. I'm a little tired. Hard to balance being an overachiever with avoiding human contact as much as possible. I mean, you can be an overachiever and just never talk to anybody. I don't know what the difficulty of that is, but okay. As the saying goes, one should be accomplished at both the pen and the sword. It's a point of pride. No, conviction. that I be the top student of the school. I decided that if I was going to be a student, then I would be the very best. I don't want people looking down on the Tosaka name. That's how Rin Tosaka came to be a perfect, flawless student. On the other hand, my occupation as a mage is dangerous, so I shouldn't associate too much with normal people. When a mage is discovered by the public, she has no choice but to eliminate witnesses to protect herself. I'd rather not resort to that. That's why I keep my social interactions purely superficial, out of necessity. I only hang out with Makidera on my days off, and I turn down invitations from more sociable people like Sakusa. It's difficult walking the tightrope of being the number one student at school while making sure I don't become anybody else's number one. And sure, there are times when it tires me out and I feel like life is a real drag.
もう時間か。
I finish the hot lemon drink and stand up. That's enough sentimentality for today. Time to go back downstairs and become Rin Tosaka again. Yeah, man. Hey, look, it's him.
部活動のない生徒は速やかに帰宅するように。
Class 2A's teacher gives me his usual spiel and leaves the room. As far as I know, he said it exactly the same way all year.
遠坂、今日はもうお帰り？
ええ、朝方マトウ君と一件あったし、面倒になる前に帰るわ。
Mato. Shinji.
やっぱりそうか。マトウのやつ、今朝は特に荒れてたからさ。そう。
迷惑をかけてしまったかしら、三辻さん。
別にマトウが下級生をいびるのはいつものことだし、あれはあれでいい精神鍛錬になるよ。
そう、よかった。じゃあこの埋め合わせはまた今度。
はいはい、これに懲りずまた寄っていってちょうだい。
Make my way home without taking any detours. My time as Rin Tosaka, the honor student, ends once I leave the school. Couldn't it be once she returns home? The next half of the day is reserved for the other me. I have to become a mage of the Tosaka. When I arrive back at the house, I'm greeted with the pulsing light of my answering
留守
machine.
電なんて珍しいな。相手はやっぱりあんたか、キレ。
I have a feeling I know what he's going to say, but I'd better listen or I won't hear the end of it later. Wait a second. I want the text speed to be faster. I'm thinking about not using auto advanced if I can avoid it. Also, I want to mention, it is interesting that I think this is the same menu as Tsukihime. Or at the very least, it's very similar. I guess maybe the difference would just be Tsukihime only had like a plain blue screen, maybe. But this one has the stars or whatever. But, very interesting. Makes me wonder, like, what the thought process was for the author going from Witch on the Holy Night to Tsukihime to here which all feel very disconnected, even though they could be part of the same world, but technically aren't. Yeah, I won't hear the end of it later. I press the play button and hear a familiar male voice.
私だ。分かっていると思うが、期限は明日までだぞ、リン。あまり悠長に構えられては困る。残る席はあと2つだ。早々にマスターを揃えねばならん。
Priest cuts straight to the point.
マスターの権利を放棄するというのなら、今日中に連絡しろ。予備の魔術師を派遣するにも時間がかかる。
Liar. I bet you could find a backup right away. That's actually not true. I guess he, well, anyway, I won't go into it.
お前にはすでに0時の兆しが現れているのだ。さっさとサーバントを召喚し、0時を開け。もっとも、聖杯戦争に参加しないというのならば話は別だ。命が惜しいのなら、早々に教会に駆け込むがいい。
The voicemail ends. It was a clear message in simple language. If you're going to fight, then be ready by today. If you aren't, then retire because you're in the way.
言われなくても分かってるわよ。
It's only to be expected, I guess. Today's the last day I can drag this out. Thankfully, I managed to decipher Father's notes yesterday. My battle preparations are in order. All that's left is to seize the right to participate, as he said.
聖杯戦争。たった一つきりの聖杯を奪い合う殺し合い。何百年も前から伝わってきた聖杯の儀式か。
One millennia. I'm not going to say it's wrong, that's centuries, but like, it's for 1 millennia. Though to be fair, it's a little confusing because the ritual started 1,000 years ago, but the first war happened way later for some reason. I don't think it's ever explained because this one's only supposed to be the 5th Holy Grail War, and the 4th one was 10 years before this, and the 3rd one was in like 1940, I think, somewhere in the middle of World War II for some reason. So then like the 1st and 2nd were somehow between 1000 AD and 1940 AD. Well, 2 of them fit in there. Like, what the heck? I don't think they ever explained them though. I believe. The mages who take part in the Holy Grail War are called masters. It doesn't denote a rank of any kind, merely describes their role. There is a condition to participate in the Holy Grail War. Must summon a familiar called a servant, form a contract, regardless of skill. You are not recognized as a master unless you command a servant. There's a clear difference between servant and normal familiars. The way you summon them is different. Mages who plan in the Holy Grail or prepare summoning catalysts, but...
父さんもセイバーにゆかりのものを残してくれればよかったのに。
I want to be a saber. I don't own any relics with a connection to a servant. I can summon one, yes. In fact, I could do it right now if I wanted to, as well as form a contract. This town's ley lines are under the jurisdiction of the Tosaka. I'm the heir to a clan that's administered the land for generations, so my performance will not take a backseat to some visiting mage. While that is true, it would be awfully incompetent of me to embark on a figurative voyage without a compass. The weird part about this is that she could have prepared which servant she would go for years. I mean, it's a little unclear when she found out about the Holy Grail War, for sure, but like she still could have been preparing. Like, so it's a little weird. Though to be fair, you would basically need an archaeological thing, probably, but maybe not necessarily, because in Fate Strange Fake, I believe I have to rewatch the episode, but I believe in the first episode, somebody summons a fairly significant, I think it was assassin, with like a toy, or was it a knife? But it was kind of weird. Whatever.
サーバントはシンボルによって引き寄せられる。強力なサーバントを呼び出したいのなら、 そのサーバントにゆかりのあるものが必要不可欠なのだ。
In other words, I'd need some outrageously valuable item, like a sword or piece of armor that the servant owned, or maybe a bone or heraldry related to them.
父さんの遺言に期待してたんだけどな。これはこれでものすごい切り札なんだけど。
The pendant I discovered in the basement last night is an ancient artifact of the highest quality. It's amazing all on its own. Still, it won't help me summon a servant. You don't know that.
いいわよ、そんなものに頼らなくたってなんとかなるわ。そもそも私以外にセーバーを扱えるマスターなんているはずないし。
I mean, the funny part is that for all she knew, Saber had already been summoned. So that's really stupid of her. That's the thing. That's partially why the sooner that you summon your servant, the better, because you can pick whatever servant you want. And the sooner you summon them, the sooner you can get used to strategizing with them. Those two reasons alone are reasons why she's stupid. I get it. I understand her reasons for many reasons, but like it doesn't change the fact that she's acting very incompetent considering she's like, I know everything. Like, oh boy. I'd rather not get another earful, and waiting until the last minute doesn't suit right with me. You already waited till the last minute. By the way, technically, I could be wrong, but I can think of 2 other Holy Grail Wars where you can summon a servant at least 1 month before the war begins. That's crazy. That's crazy. And here she is being like, I got 2 days. I'm good. Now the real challenge begins. Tonight I'm going to summon a servant while I'm in peak condition and acquire Saber by force. Late night. The clock reads almost 2 a.m. Why did they got it? Okay, I guess it's like the witching hour thing. This is a period where everything lines up. My condition peaks at 2 a.m. sharp. In terms of limits, this will be my first and last chance, so I can't afford even the slightest mistake. Actually, this is not your first and last chance. You could have done it any other time. She makes summoning circles. They're just circles on the ground. Oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, this is what she makes. Get a bit of blood. A magic circle into the floor of the basement. Actually, it doesn't take a major evocation to call forth a servant. Servants are invited by the Holy Grail. Masters anchor them to the world and supply magical energy to materialize them. But the servants are the ones who choose to respond to the summons.
Sonia, 銀と鉄。礎に石と契約の太鼓。ソニは我が大使、シュバイユオーグ。降り立つ風には壁を。四方の門は閉じ、王冠より出。王国に至る三サロは循環せよ。
This is just edgelord dialogue, by the way. Doesn't mean anything. Still, I need to keep cautious and focused. Magic circles are normally drawn with blood, but tonight I will draw mine with melted jewels. I'm using up half of the jewels I've acquired over my lifetime, so I'll never financially recover from this if it fails. It's weird. That's really weird. It's also weird because the way she makes jewels, or the way you make jewels, isn't necessarily by money. It could also just be from her putting magic into a jewel every day. She wakes up in the morning, puts magic in a jewel. Wakes up the next morning, puts magic in a jewel. Either the same one or a different one, either way. Like, so she doesn't have to buy a jewel. I mean, I guess the jewel does have to get bought, but the magic can't be bought. But she could probably put it in like an artificial gem, I would think, though. But yeah, maybe real gems are better for storing magic.
満たせ満たせ繰り返し都度に5度。ただ満たされる時を破却する。
It's almost 2 a.m. I finish drawing the summoning circle, pass down through the Tosaka line, and face it with all my being.
Alpha.
I flick a formless switch within myself. With a click, I feel my insights turn over to something else. My normal nerves invert and become circuits for conducting magical energy. Rin Tosaka is no longer human. She's just a component in the execution of mystics. I melt from my fingers. No, I'm filled up from my fingers. The mana I'm taking in is so dense it overwrites my bodily sensations. That's why I'm being destroyed at the same time I'm being filled. Running through my body is power, mana, from the atmosphere. I convert it into a different type of energy through my body's circuits. Meech's body is nothing but circuits. Not really, but whatever. We won't go into that, but yeah, sure. Circuits to connect the ethereal to the material. The mystical outcome we produce is what we call magecraft. My body grows hot. It seems like horns are growing from my forehead. It seems like wings are sprouting from my back. So like, what's she talking about here? Like, why would you be growing, metaphorically even, growing horns and wings? It seems like scales are covering my hands. Like, what, you're becoming more like a dragon? Like, I don't really know what the point of that is. Feels like there's water pulling around my ankles. Sweat drips. Stab, stab. Swords pierce my body. These are the stigmata that reject my body, which becomes a circuit. No matter how gifted a mage is, we're only human. In the human body, the pain is something we must live with whenever we use magecraft. Really? I think that's the first I've ever heard that. Every time you use magecraft, it literally puts pain throughout your body. I guess it's kind of like forcing electricity out of your nerve endings. Like, even if you could do it, it would be super painful, maybe. The cycle doesn't let up. Beyond the agony, deep within the trance, lies the mental state necessary for connection. By the way, sometimes people are like, I'm gonna summon somebody. Boom. I summoned them. She's like, it's so torturous, the process. But maybe it's just because this is the first time they're showing it, I guess, maybe? I don't know. Pain wriggles in my left arm. To aid the caster, my magic crest autonomously begins an incantation, invading my nervous system. The mana in the atmosphere I've taken in turns to blood. It's like molten lead. While my activated magic crest resembles thorny nerves. With a crunching sensation, it creeps throughout my body like a thorny centipede. Within the hurt, I forget myself. At the same time, I can feel it taking hold of me, like I've reached where I need to go. My hypersensitive hearing picks up the ticking clock in the parlor. 10 seconds left until 2 a.m. The power filling my body is unquestionably complete. Time to begin. I convert the mana I've collected into magical energy for fixation. All that's left is to feed all that energy into the engine, the summoning circle, until my body runs dry. My vision goes dark. What lies before me now is the fifth factor, said to be imperceptible to the naked eye. My vision shuts off on its own, fearing what it might see. Yeah, this is the part most people can memorize when they want to cosplay this. That went off without a hitch. Feels so perfect, it's like I'm reeling in a whale with a fishing rod. Flawless. I'm positive I just drew the strongest card. Can't wait for my vision to return. It'll take a few more seconds, but when it does, I'm sure the strongest servant will be nowhere in sight.
はい？
Nothing's there. The room doesn't look different at all. I spun that much ether into this ritual only for absolutely nothing to materialize? On top of that, I think I just heard something explode in the parlor. I bolt. My head's empty at this point. I just run. I race up the stairs from the basement.
扉壊れてる。
The door to the parlor is askew off its hinges. There isn't any point in turning the knob, and since it won't open whether I push or pull,
もう邪魔だかな。
I kick it down and burst into the room. And the moment I enter the parlor, everything becomes clear. Everything is in tatters. Rubble is strewn across everything, as if something has fallen through the ceiling. On top of it all sits a man, cocking his head arrogantly. He must be some kind of criminal. But something graver draws my attention. The grandfather clock, having escaped destruction, tells the time precisely. Now I remember. Right, of course, the clocks were an hour ahead today, weren't they? Which means it's 1 a.m. Still a full hour left until I'm in peak spellcasting form. You know, now that I think about it, I mean, first of all, does Japan follow daylight savings time? But that would imply that it would be fall. But I thought you said it was summer before. But the other weird thing is, you're being like, you know, this is just a joke here, by the way, because you almost never see somebody summon a servant at night, or I should say in the middle of the night, like deep into the night. Maybe like, oh yeah, it's a little nighttime. Okay, yeah, they summon a servant. But like, this is like literally middle of the night. And she's like, oh, I gotta be at my max magical strengths, and I gotta do all this complicated stuff, and I'm using the most magical power to summon the most strongest person ever. And you get this guy. This guy could have been summoned by anybody. He isn't weak, but he is definitely not here because of how strong of a mage she is or something. It really makes me wonder which servant she would have summoned if this wasn't fated to happen. I mean, because that's kind of the point. That's why this is a prologue, because this is like fated to happen right here. It's a big deal, but like, I really hate this guy. He's very popular. I really hate him. I won't go into it. I hate everything about him.
またやっちゃった。
I can complete tasks as well as anybody else, but suffer from the curse of my genetics. When it really counts, I somehow manage to bungle things on an unbelievable level.
やっちゃったことは仕方ない。反省。
I can't believe my own stupidity. Still irritated, I direct my glare at the man lounging haughtily on the rubble.
それで、あんた何？
Wait, so how was she telling time then? It just occurred to me. How was she telling time if the time was wrong? Let's say she had a cell phone. Like, whatever she thought was 2 a.m. Whatever was telling her was 2 a.m. should have been correct. But to be fair, it's not like when the time, you know, fall back, spring forward time thing happens. It's not like, oh, it goes from 1 hour to the other. Like, no, it's so gradual. It's just that we pick a day for it to happen rather than, oh, every single week for this period of time, change the time by 5 minutes. You know, they could do that, but no, it's just annoying. So, like, she's wrong either way. She was wrong, unbelievably wrong. But also, even if she was supposed to bring in daylight savings time as a factor, remember, she could have done this a week ago. So, yeah. So what are you?
開口一番それか。こりゃまた とんでもないマスターに引き当てられたものだ。
The man in the red mantle shakes his head in a show of exasperation. To add insult to injury, he mutters something about drawing the short straw. Oh, now I'm dead certain. This guy has a messed up personality. By the way, the joke is that he's the exact same as her. Them two together are basically the same person. And is this a servant? I thought familiars were shapeless beings, but this is just a man. No, not just a man. Even from here I can tell that it's brimming with a shocking amount of magical energy. Don't be fooled by its appearance. I'm staring at something that's undoubtedly more than human. It's a human-shaped ghost that's on the level of an elemental. This is no time to be dumbstruck. That thing belongs to me. I need to get my head in the game.
確認するけど、あなたは私のサーバントで間違いない？
それはこちらが聞きたいな。君こそ私のマスターなのか？ここまで乱暴な召喚は初めてでね。正直状況がつかめない。
So the funny thing about this, because all this is like kind of interesting, kind of quirky dialogue when you know nothing, admittedly. But once you find out that he doesn't remember any other time he's been summoned, as far as I know, maybe he does. That'd be news to me. But he shouldn't remember any previous time he was summoned. And here he's being like, I've never been summoned this way before. It's like, okay. Also, like, why did he get summoned this way? Just for comedic effect. Because I don't think I've ever heard of somebody getting summoned in this way. I think every single servant gets summoned either in the summoning circle or at the very least right in front of the person who summons them. So it's very weird.
私だって初めてよ。そういう質問は却下するわ。
そうか。だが私が召喚された時に君は目の前にいなかった。これはどういうことなのか説明してくれ。
本気？ひな鳥じゃあるまいし、目を開けた時にしか主を決められないなんて冗談はやめてよね。
The unidentified servant frowns and a grunt escapes its lips. Maybe he didn't like the way I said it, though he has a mixed reaction as if still impressed by the logic in my words.
まあいいわ。私が聞いているのはね、あなたが他の誰でもないこの私のサーバントかってことだけよ。それをはっきりさせない以上、他の質問に答える義務はないわ。
召喚に失敗しておいてそれか。この場合、他に色々と言うべきことがあると思うのだな。
By the way, this isn't a failed summoning, and why he would say that, I assume he just wants to get her mad. I think that's it.
そんなのないわよ。主従関係は一番初めにはっきりさせておくべきものだもの。
Servant's eyebrow twitches. He isn't even bothered to hide his dissatisfaction with me. I wonder if it's because of the half-baked summoning. It's also funny because if she had gotten any other servant, this interaction would have been pretty much no different. There are plenty of laissez-faire servants, you know, like if they're just warrior servants, and he basically is a warrior servant, even if he is really whiny. Or I don't know. I mean, he definitely, like, I don't know if whiny is the right word for him, but he's just like, ugh. Edgy? Edgelord. Yeah, he's an edgelord. Yeah, there we go. He's an edgelord. He acts like he's like, I gotta deal with this. So annoying. And it's like, shut the fuck up. You know, like, as if everything is ideal for anybody in any situation, you know? So, like, also, I don't think that he ever could have had a better master, only because he doesn't have any spectacular abilities anyway. So it's weird for that reason. Like, the most powerful mage would have been like, okay, you can shoot your arrows more, I guess. Well, I guess there's something.
主従関係ははっきりさせておくか。やることは失点だらけだが、口だけは達者らし
But
い。
yeah, she didn't fail to summon anything. She summoned him, as we find out way later, or maybe never, but yeah, it's inferred later why he gets summoned, and it's got something to do with something in her possession. But yeah, it's really weird that that he's just like, you failed. What a failure. I can't believe you failed. And it's like, this is actually a perfectly normal summoning, technically. Now, why he was summoned into a different room, I don't know. But other than that part, it's not failure.
確かにその意見には賛成だ。どちらが強者でどちらが弱者なのか明確にしておかなければお互いやりづらかろう。
The servant's eyes me meaningfully, still relaxing on the rubble of my living room.
どちらが弱者かですって？
ああ、私もサーバントだ。呼ばれたからには主従関係を認めるさ。だがそれはあくまで契約上の話だろう。
Yeah, and like some servants would be like, hey, you got to prove to me that you're actually a good fighter. Like, again, he's definitely one of the more mild-mannered ones, I would say. Some of them are like just, oh, you're my master, I'm your servant, done. But plenty of them are like, nah, I hate you, kill you.
どちらがより優れたものか、共に戦うにふさわしい相手かを測るのは別になる。さて、その件でいくと、君は私のマスターにふさわしい魔術師なのかな、お嬢さん。
The servant smirks. First he destroys my house and acts like he's king of the castle, and now he has the nerve to ask whether I'm worthy, even though for all you know this guy's literally a king, but don't worry about it. Like, she doesn't know anything about this guy. Literally nothing. And she's like, oh, the nerve of this guy. It's like, well, he's a historical fighter from history as far as she's aware. So that's enough reason for him to have a high horse. He has evidence of fame. She does not.
あなたの意見なんて聞いてないわ。私が聞いているのはあなたが私のサーバントかどうかってことだけよ。
I repeat myself, stealing my gaze. Why? Why did you repeat yourself? I don't know. I'm not going back down from this condescending jerk.
おう、なるほどなるほど。そんな当たり前のことは答えるまでもないと。実に勇ましい。いや、気概だけなら立派なマスターだが。
だから順番を間違えるなっていうの。一番初めに確認するのは召喚者の務めよ。さあ答えなさい。あなたは私のサーバントなのね。
That is true, though. This is an interesting thing that she brings up, because I think every master normally does say, "Are you my servant?" And then the servant always just says, "Yes, I have come in answer to your summons." Meanwhile, this guy's just like, so annoying. I step forward aggressively, ready to pounce depending on his answer.
強情なお嬢さんだ。これでは話が進まんな。仕方あるまい。仮に私が君のサーバントだとしよう。で、その場合、君が私のマスターなのか？いやまあ、あくまで仮の話だが。
What is this guy, the fucking Riddler?
当たり前じゃない。あなたが私に呼ばれたサーバントなら、あなたのマスターは私以外に誰がいるっていうのよ。
I glare at this rude man, giving my seizing head a moment to cool.
おう、そうか。まあ仮の話なんだが、とりあえずそうだとしよう。それで、君が私のマスターである証はどこにある？
The summoning, the marks on her hand. The servant blithely asks, smirking all the while. He's clearly trying to goad me with these questions into losing my temper.
ここよ。あなたのマスターである証ってこれでしょ？
Didn't show the hand. Okay, it's on her hand. Yeah. I show him the command spells. I don't think I was born yesterday. Father's told me enough that I know what command spells are at least.
納得いった？ これでもまだ文句を言うの？
I thrust the symbols at him in challenge, but the lounging servant rolls his eyes.
まあ言ったな。本気で言っているのか、お嬢さん。
His face darkens, looking even more disgruntled.
本気かってなんでよ。
その考えがだ。霊樹があればマスターなのか。霊樹などサーバントを利する道具に過ぎないだろう。まったくそんな形だけのものでマスターブルとはな。私が見たかったのは君が忠誠を振るうにふさわしい人物かどうかだったのだが。
Read this yourself, because she's totally right. It is complete bullshit. Those command spells are enough for every single other servant ever.
何よ。それじゃあ私はマス。
そう願いたいが、そうはいくまい。霊樹がある以上、私の召喚者は君のようだ。
He
信じ
shrugs.
がたいが、君は本当に私のマスターらしい。
Uh-oh, I've reached my bowling point. I'm not going to cool down in
思
time.
って不満だが、認めよう。とりあえず、君は私のマスターだ。だが、私にも条件がある。私は今後、君の言い分には従わない。戦闘方針は私が決めるし、君はそれに従って行動する。
I mean, to be fair, he does have more battle experience.
これが最大の譲歩だ。それで構わないな、お嬢さん。
Sorry, father. I'm at my limit.
そう。不満だけど認めるくせに私の意見には取り合わないってどういうことかしら。あなたは私のサーバントなんでしょ。
I mean, the stupid thing is that there are adult masters in the Fate world who are in the exact same situation, but the servant will literally kill them. If they're like, oh, you don't agree with my conditions? I'll kill you. Now you can say, oh, they can use their command spell. It's like, yeah, some of them have to use their command spell to tell them, stop it, don't kill me. Some have to do this. So, I ask in a trembling voice, after our spat over the command spells, this is my last desperate attempt at dialogue. And yet...
ああ、形の上だけはな。故に、形式上は君に従ってやる。だが、戦うのは私自身だ。君はこの家の地下にでも隠れて、聖杯戦争が終わるまでじっとしていればいい。それなら、未熟な君でも命だけは助かるだろう。
Yeah. It's kind of weird to call her a novice, though, since everybody only does a Holy Grail war once, normally. He's looking down on me, declaring that he expects nothing from me.
怒ったのか？いや、もちろん君の立場は尊重するよ。私はマスターを勝利させるために呼ばれたものだからな。私の勝利は君のものだし、戦いで得たものは全て君にくれてやる。
Also,
それなら文句はなかろう。
also, now that I think about it, this actually reminds me of like Achilles. This is like how Achilles kind of acted. Like, yes, I serve you, but I am my own person, and I'm gonna go fight how I want to fight. But yeah, technically, I work for you. You know, like that's exactly how Achilles acted.
どうせ君に霊樹は使えまい。
Why?
まあ、後のことは私に任せて。
Why can't she use a
君は
command
自分の
spell?
身の。
あったまきた。いいわ。そんなに言うなら使ってやろうじゃない。アンファン。
No more mercy. I've got nothing else left for a jackass like this.
まさか。
そのまさかよ、この礼儀知らず。フィアトラーク、アイノヤナーゲン、アイノヤスケナス。
You don't have to do all this, by the way. You just need to say, I invoke my command spell. That's it. If you had to say everything else like this every single time, you would be screwed. The second a servant said, I'm going to kill you now. You know? Like, oh, crap. So,
待て、
absolute
そうやわさ。
obedience.
そんなことで霊樹を使うやつが。
This is actually the most basic command spell ever. Because he's clearly showing he's not going to do what she tells him to do. So this is actually... They frame this as stupid later, but it's like, no, this is actually very normal. You can say, oh, well, he wasn't going to kill her or anything, but it's like, he's literally telling her that he's not going to do what she tells him to do. Like, that's a big deal.
うるさい。いい？あんたは私のサーバント。なら私の言い分には絶対服従ってもんでしょ。
Like, they treat this like she's a petulant child, but later on in the series, it's like, actually, this is pretty reasonable. Emblem on my right hand aches. 3 command spells. They allow a master to issue 3 unbreakable commands.
考えなさか君は。こんな大雑把なことにレイジを使うなど。
It's too late to whine now. I didn't expect this to happen either. I want to die of self-loathing. I can't believe I just burned one of my precious command spells on a petty squabble. It's not a petty squabble, though. This is a big deal. He's telling you he's not going to do what you tell him to do. And that's the one thing he's supposed to do, technically. I mean, and, you know, if you can work together, that's good too, but he's literally saying he's not going to do what you tell him to do. After that, I retreated from the ruins of the parlor and went to my bedroom. Before me stands a servant whom my command spells compelled absolute obedience from. Supposedly, anyway.
なるほど。君の性質は大体理解したぞ、マスター。
Who would call this absolute obedience?
念のため尋ねるが、君はレイジュがどれほど知
ってるわよ。サーバントを律する3回きりの命令権でしょ。それが何よ。
いいかね。レイジはサーバントを強制的に行動させるものだ。それは行動を止めるだけでなく、行動を強化させるという意味でもある。例えば、私はここから遠くの場所まで瞬間的には移動できない。だが、レイジで行けと命じれば、それが私と君の魔力で届くことならば可能となる。強制命令権とはそういうことだ。サーバント自身でも制御できない肉体の限界さえ突破させる大魔術の結晶が3つのレイジュなのだ。まあ今では2つに減ってしまったがな。
I know a lot of masters who ended up never using a command spell, or at the very least not using all of their command spells. It's very, very rare to use up your command spells. And even 2, even 1 even sometimes. But like, even 2, like...
知ってるわよ、そんなこと。いいじゃない、まだ2つあるんだし。あなたに命じた規則は無駄じゃないんだし。
確かに、これは私の誤算だった。レイジというものは、曖昧な命令には効きが弱くなる。
Yeah, that's true.
私を守り通せ。この戦いに勝てなどと言った。広く長く効果が続く者には、レイジの力が弱くなる。効きが長く続くが、苦痛が小さいため、逆らえるサーバントも出てくるだろう。
Oh, it's just pain. But it's not even a vague thing to say absolute obedience. So it's a little, that's confusing. It's like, oh, I order you to be absolutely obedient to me. That's so vague. It's like, no, it isn't. Protect me until the end isn't vague. Protect them, you know? Protect them. That's... Win the war for me is vague, though. Though, to be fair, if they said that they're going to just leave and not participate in the war, I'm pretty sure saying win the war for me is gonna be a big deal.
逆に、次の一撃を死ぬ気で放て。あのグラスだけは壊すなといった単一の命令は絶対で、よほど強力なサーバントでも逆らうのは難しくなる。さて、ここまでで私が言いたいことがわかるな。
わかるわよ。要するに広く長い命令は意味がないんでしょ。効果も戒めも薄いならサーバントはレイジュに逆らって行動できる。そんな効き目の薄い命令をするなら絶対的な単一の命令をした方がいい。
そうだ。レイジとはもともと自分たちの能力以上の奇跡を起こすためのもの。それを 代用の効く命令などで消費する具は許されない。
Yeah. And she did couldn't be executed by any other means.
君の先ほどの例示はまさにそれだ。私が君に従うかは話し合いで解決できたことだし。
Shut up.
じゃあ
No, he's
私
lying.
のさっきの例示は
通常ならそうなのだがな。どうも君の魔術師としての性能は桁が違ったらしい。
The servant's lips twitch upwards, even as he sighs.
桁が違ったって、もしかしてちょっとあなた、自分が今どんな状態なのか正直に話してみなさい。
The implication dawns on me, and I ask him eagerly.
ああ、誤算というのはそれだ。先ほどの命令では少しはマスターの意見を尊重しようという程度の心変わりにしかならない。だが今の私は君の言葉に強い強制を感じている。君の意見に異を唱えると、そうだな、ランクが一つばかり落ちるようだ。
I wonder if he's lying here. Whatever, doesn't matter.
つまりマスターの意向に逆らうと体が重くなって動きづらいというところか。
My servant shrugs in resignation. So he's saying that my command spell worked. He's still being as sarcastic as ever. So it just doesn't affect his personality. Besides, even if he's weakened, doubt even 10 of me could resist if he decided to rebel against me. That's not necessarily true.
前言を撤回しよう、マスター。年齢は若いが、君は卓越した魔術師だ。子供と侮り、戦いから遠ざけようとしたのは私の過ちだった。無礼ともども謝ろう。
The servant straightens his posture and gives me a formal bow.
やめてよ。確かにいろいろ言い合ったけど、そんなの喧嘩両成敗っていうか。
そうか。いや、話のわかるマスターで助かった。
なんか切り返し早いわね、あんた。
何？誤算は誤算だったが、嬉しい誤算というやつだったからな。これほどの才能があるのなら、君を戦いに巻き込むことに異論はない。
Is this his roundabout way of saying I'm a strong master?
じゃあ、霊樹抜きで私がマスターだって認めるのね。
無論だ。先ほどは召喚されたばかりで馴染んでいなかったが、今では完全につながった。魔術師であるのなら、契約によるつながりを感じられるだろう。
契約？
Now that he mentions it, something does feel weird about my body. It's as if my closed-off nerves are now connected to the outside. Specifically, I can feel a portion of my magical energy flowing to the man before me.
そっか。サーバントは聖杯に呼ばれるけど、呼ばれたサーバントをこの世に留めるのは、
そう、マスターの力だ。サーバントはマスターからの魔力提供によってこの世にとどまる。魔力提供量は十分だ。経験的に問題はありそうだが、君の能力は飛び抜けている。普通の魔術師ならばサーバントを召喚した瞬間に意識を失っているだろう。だというのに君は活力に満ちている。
I don't know about that. I don't think that's true. I don't think I've ever heard of any common mage, or even somebody who's not even a mage, somebody who barely has any magic, has fainted from summoning a servant, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong though, maybe.
先ほどの霊樹といい、この魔力量といい、マスターとして君は間違いなく一流だ。
The command spell is always the exact same amount of magic because the command spell actually comes from the Grail, so the amount of energy she uses through a command spell means nothing.
今更褒めたって何も出ないけど。
I break eye contact out of embarrassment. Well, I didn't see this coming. I know the command spell is making him obey me, but still, this superhuman servant is sincerely acknowledging me as his master.
で、あなた何のサーバント？
Clear my head, return to business.
見てわからないか？あ、それは結構。
I take it all back. He's definitely making fun of me.
わかったわ。これはマスターとしての質問よ。ねえ、あなたセイバーじゃないの？
Yeah, why is she even asking if he's a saber?
残念ながら剣は持っていない。
He is, by the way, he is equipped with 2 swords. They are swords. I don't know why he says this. Maybe this is just a bad translation. Who knows? I suspected as much. When all said and done, I got the time wrong. My summoning circle didn't do its job. My servant was spat out into some random room. It was far too sloppy of a ritual to summon the strongest servant, Saber. By the way, Saber is not the strongest servant, so don't worry about that crap. Especially when her dad summoned an archer, which is what this guy is. An archer is debatably better than a saber. It just kind of depends on what kind of saber or archer they are.
ドジったわ。あれだけ宝石を使っておいてセイバーじゃないなんて目も当てられない。
悪かったな、セイバーでなくて。
The other weird part, though, is that he really should be a saber, just because, like, based on what I know about his past, that you eventually learn, technically, he should be a saber, actually. That actually makes more sense for him to be a saber. Weird.
え？ああ、そりゃ通行のミスだから残念だけど、悪いのは私なんだから。
ああ、どうせアーチャーでは派手さに欠けるだろうよ。いいだろう。後で今の暴言を悔やませてやる。その時になって謝っても聞かないからな。
I'm trying to think of all the classes, which ones are the best. And I would say it would be between Saber, Rider, maybe Rider, it depends. And I think Archer. Then again, I don't know, maybe it more depends on what the best, strongest servants are from history are. And I guess the strongest people from history actually use lances more, from what I'm aware of in Fate. So that's kind of weird, actually. But it just depends, because almost all servants can, like, block an arrow. So it's a little weird. Like, oh, I shot an arrow from 3 miles away. I blocked it, because it'd be stupid for a servant to die from an arrow. That's the only reason.
Hi?
What a surprise. The unidentified servant seems to be sulking. Maybe my fixation on Saber offended him?
何？勘に触った？あーちゃん。
触った。見てよ。必ず自分が幸運だったと思い知らせてやる。
Archer retorts with a sidelong glance. He has a really spiteful air about him, but that reaction felt somehow childish and free of malice. You know, he might be a pretty decent guy.
そうね。それじゃあ必ず私を後悔させて、あーちゃん。そうなったら素直に謝らせてもらうから。
ああ、忘れるなよ、マスター。己が召喚したものがどれほどのものか知って感謝するがいい。もっとも、その時になって謝られてもこちらの気は晴れんだろうがな。
Archer huffs even as his lip twists into a grin. Oh yeah, this one's got a rotten personality, alright.
まあいいわ。それであんたどこの英霊なのよ。
Archer doesn't answer. His sardonic expression is replaced by a deepening frown.
あーちゃん？マスターである私がサーバントであるあなたに聞いているんだけど。
それは秘密だ。
は？
私がどのようなものだったかは答えられない。
あのね、つまんない理由だったら怒るわよ。
それは。
There's that face again. Archer opens and closes his mouth as if he's having trouble voicing an uncomfortable truth.
なぜかというと、 自分でもわからない。
Wait, what?
はあ？何よそれ。あんた私のことバカにしてるわけ？
マスターを侮辱するつもりはない。ただこれは君の不完全な召喚のツケだぞ。どうも記憶に混乱が見られる。自分が何者であるかわかるのだが、名前や素性がどうも曖昧だ。まあさして重要な欠落ではないから気にすることはないのだが。
気にすることはない。あんたがどんな英霊か知らなきゃどのくらい強いのかわからないじゃない。
なんだ、そんなことは問題ではなかろう。さまつな問題だよ、それは。
さまつってあったね。相棒の強さがわからないんじゃ作戦の立てようがないでしょ。そんなんで戦っていけるわけないじゃない。
何を言う。私は君が呼び出したサーバントだ。それが最強でないはずがない。
He's so straightforward. The Crimson Knight fixes me with a gaze full of confidence and trust. My brain grinds to a halt. There's no deception in Archer's words. He's sincerely giving me more credit than I deserve, even though we've just met. My cheeks are burning. I'm sure I'm blushing bright red right now. Surprise attacks like this tend to be my weakness.
まあいいか。誰にも正体がわからないってことには変わりはないんだし、敵を騙すにはまず味方からって言うし。
By the way, I never gave it much thought before, but it just occurs to me now. He's lying. He actually knows exactly who he is and where he's from and his entire backstory. I thought that was like a plot point that's like, ooh, we don't want to reveal it. Like we don't want him to know because then he'd like treat the situation differently. But now that I think about it, no, he knows exactly who he is, because it doesn't make sense that he would forget who he is. This has never been a thing ever outside of this moment. And it makes a lot of sense that he'd lie, because he's lying about a lot of stuff in this whole conversation. So this actually makes a lot of sense. I turn away from Archer to hide my embarrassment. I'm sure I'll figure out in due time what sort of servant he is anyway. Also, the funny thing is, he actually might be the strongest, weirdly. So he says like, oh, I must be the strongest because you summoned me. And it's like, actually, that's kind of true. Because she did use a lot of magic, and they do like acknowledge that she does know her magecraft pretty well, weirdly. But also, like, could he beat every other servant here? And the answer is yes, with like some weird exceptions, kinda. But at the end of the day, he actually ends up defeating everybody in the war, kind of, in a really loose way. But like when I think of like every single person he could fight in the war, like it's like, yeah, I think there's only like like I think only Castor is the only one that like I don't quite know if he could beat her, but you know, probably. For now we have other priorities.
わかった。しばらくあなたの正体に関しては不問にしましょう。それじゃあじゃあ最初の仕事だけど。
早速か。好戦的だな、君は。それで敵は？
Before you can say enemy, I toss a broom and dustpan at him.
下の掃除お願い。あんたが散らかしたんだから責任持ってきれいにしといてね。
Few seconds pass in stunned silence. When Archer finally regains his senses, he grips the broom indignantly.
待て。君はサーバントを何だと思っている？
And here's the thing, they treat this as a comedic moment, but like she actually did do a bad thing here, because he actually ended up praising her quite a lot, and then she's like, I don't know how to magically clean up this room, so you go do it. And it's like, are you freaking for real? Like, it's so demeaning and just stupid.
使い魔でしょ？ちょっと生意気で扱いに困るけど。
But, you know, once you think, oh, but she's like 15 years old. Oh, now this makes sense. Oh, like, which makes her look bad. Archer cuts himself off. I have no intention of letting him off. And if he letting him off? What are you talking about? And if he tries to weasel out of it, I still have a card to play. It's your fault that he was summoned there, though.
意義あり。そのような命令は
いいの？これマスターとしての命令よ。マスターの方針に逆らったら体が重くなるんだっけ？まあ、あなたはその程度じゃどうってことないだろうけど、そのペナルティは今を掃除するまで続くのよ。そんな状態で明日から戦っていくのは危ないんじゃない？
Again, I'm not sure if this command spell actually did work correctly or not. I mean, probably did. But yeah, I'm not for sure. But either way, like if he wanted to act like it worked, then it makes sense that he's got to be like, oh yeah, I better do it, or else she'll be like, why aren't you doing what you told me to, what I told you to do? Ah, you know. So it's understandable. He stands there for several more seconds with broom in hand, grumbling under his breath. And so the archer in the red mantle closes his eyes. See? You're losing respect, idiot. Grin, the idiot. And gracefully accepts. No, he does not. Accept gracefully. Yeah. Now then, getting late. Should rest. Decide how to deal with him once I wake up. Didn't even tell him, by the way, hey, go outside and watch for enemies. Freaking stupid girl. A fateful day draws to a close. No, rather, my fate was shaped by this night. That makes 6, including me. Once the 7th and final master summons their servant, the Holy Grail War of this generation will begin. In the not-so-distant future, the battle I've been waiting 10 long years for is about to commence. By the way, she says 10 long years. Normally, Holy Grail Wars are like 50 years apart from each other or something. Maybe even more than 50. So it's really stupid that she says, oh, only 10 years. Like, or like 10 long years. Like, it could have been 50 more, but all right. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole weird thing with that. Oh, finally, we're on a change of day. Finally, it's about time. Oh, wait, so it is February. Wait, what? But didn't they say it was unusually cold? I guess I gotta go back and check. Because I thought that they said it was unusually cold. Wait. No, that's right. She said... Oh, yeah, okay, maybe I just misunderstood. So, like, she said that normally people don't go to the roof top to have their lunch in the winter because it's so cold. But I thought she was implying that it was summer when she said that. I thought that's what she implied. It's summer right at that moment. The Holy Grail War. It's a grand ritual that's been repeated for hundreds of years. A fight to the death between 7 participants, of which only 1 can survive. It's said that a Holy Grail exists in the land of Fuyuki, and that a number of mages fought over it in the past. Their one and only objective was to obtain the relic called the Holy Grail. However, the Grail's origins are unclear. I mean, they actually are pretty clear to 3 families, but don't worry about it. Don't worry. We're sure it isn't the chalice that held the blood of God, but its power is fearsome enough to be compared to the genuine article. Sure. That's right. They say the Holy Grail can grant any wish. Only 1 person can possess it. The Holy Grail can only grant 1 wish for 1 person. Despite that, 7 mages are needed to summon the Grail to this land. 7 collaborators to create 1 miracle. So as you might imagine, it was only a matter of time before they started fighting over the Grail. Like so many conflicts, it started as a competition over property rights. The 7 mages equally used the power of the Holy Grail to summon their respective familiars, then do battle over the Grail itself. Only 1 mage can obtain the Grail. As a result, 7 people who started as colleagues ended up in a ferocious battle to the end. This is wrong. It was actually 3 people who were colleagues, and then the 7th thing came later. maybe this is still talking about the first Holy Grail War, admittedly, because when this process was first made, the 3 people who made the war were working together. So that's the gist of the ritual known as the Holy Grail War, a struggle for ownership between mages. The mages chosen by the Holy Grail are called masters, who use the blessing of the Grail to acquire powerful familiars known as servants. Wow, I hope that you're seeing that really quick. 2 things serve as proof that one has become a master: summoning and command of a servant, and the mark of command spells to compel the servant's servitude. The first goes without saying. The archer I summoned yesterday, no, a few hours ago to be exact, is Rin Tosaka's servant. As for the second, a master must closely guard the command spells that control one's servant. This is probably the most critical aspect of being a master. When I summoned Archer, symbols appeared on my right hand, namely command spells, stigmata bestowed by the Holy Grail upon the summoning of a servant. A massive amount of magical energy is compressed into these seals, whose power is fleeting rather than long-lasting. They disappear once they're used, and as their shape suggests, each mark represents a single use. In other words, one only gets 3 shots. A master who has used up all 3 command spells can no longer control a servant and is as good as dead. This is not true. However, we're talking about mages here, and they don't trust people. So they'd be like, oh no, I don't have a command spell to tell my servant, don't kill me. So, oh shit, you know? But there is also like one other secret reason why you need at least 1 command spell at the end of the war. So there is that, I guess. But like, again, they are still saying, yeah, you're dead. You're just dead if you don't have a command spell. And it's like, not true, but I get it. Therefore, command spells must be handled with care until the very end, since they're as valuable as one's own life. Which is weird because like that does imply that, I mean, this is why most people don't use 2 of them, let alone 3. But yeah, it's interesting that like she's like, oh, I'll use 1, and then okay, from her perspective, she can only use 1 more realistically. So it's weird. But again, you can totally lose all of your command spells and still be a master. So I get it, but like you just have to be on good terms with your servant. Oh no, a mage's weakness. It pains me to no end that I burned 1 right off the bat, but it wasn't a total waste, so I'll chalk it up as a win. That is true, though. She didn't need to use it. After all, a servant could turn on its master at any time. If 1 command spell is what it takes to put a collar on him, then I consider it a fair trade. Assuming the collar's on him, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a short break. Very short. I'll be right back. That's about it for the broader strokes of the business. Of this business. Once 7 servants have been summoned, the Holy Grail War will begin. Holy Grail War. Holy Grail War. Tonight's sleep will be a fitful one. Fitful. I don't know when the final master will appear, but they could be right around the corner. which is why it's really stupid that she's like, I summoned my servant. Now I'm going to go to sleep and get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep. It's like, that's a stupid idea, but okay. I feel sluggish. My bleary gaze goes up to the window, only to see that it's already bright outside.
9時過ぎてる。遅刻どころの話じゃない。
Like, what was she expecting? Here's how stupid she is. She stayed up till 2. I mean, was it 2? But whatever, sure. We'll just say 2. I mean, like, she was talking to him for a while. So she stayed up till 2. Used up all of her magical power. And, like, she had to be, like, wide awake at 2. Not like, oh, I was sleepy and then went to bed at 2. Like, no, she was wide awake at 2. Used up all of her magic power, which is also her, like, physical stamina. And then she went to sleep. It's like, oh no, I had 7 hours of sleep. Oh, who could have seen this coming? Like, idiot. After a drowsy check of the clock, I make up my mind to skip school today. Yeah.
体が重い。半分以上持ってかれたみたいね。これは。
Sitting up in bed, I heave a long sigh. Not being a morning person isn't enough to explain why I feel so dull. I think Archer mentioned something about it. The master would be out of commission after summoning a servant.
そうだった。
I mean, you only slept 7 hours, man. I summoned Archer, not Saber.
セイバーじゃなくってアーチャーを呼び出したんだ。
I remember it all clearly now. I'd rather not, to be honest, but it's not as if denying the facts will let me do it over.
魔力が戻るまで1日ちょいか。今日は鳴らし運転ってことにしよう。
I drag myself out of bed. A mental boxing match rages between the outside air, which is quite warm for winter, and the comfort of my bed sheets. It concludes in a 3-second knockout against the temptation of going back to sleep. I check my body in the mirror. Nothing out of place aside from the loss of half my usual magical energy. Only half, huh? Wait, so she didn't use up all of her magical energy. Though, I guess maybe using up... Maybe... I don't know. That's so weird that she's like, I want to use up crap tons of magic in order to summon my servant, and then she just doesn't use half of her own. But I guess the gems probably were way more than her own.
まあ、問題なんてあるわけないけど。
I review the situation. I summon the servant Archer, who doesn't have an ounce of respect for his master. To make matters worse, he doesn't even know who he is. Wow, talk about a headache.
あいつの記憶が戻るまで切り札は封印か。思い出せないんじゃ使いようがないしね。
Servants are strong familiars all on their own, but what makes them truly formidable is the secret weapon they each possess. Frustratingly, Archer claims to have forgotten what his is.
まあ、火はこっちにもあるし、なんとかやっていくしかないか。
We're both in the same boat then. I can only pray that he'll sort his memories out, but who knows how long that might take. Good grief. I've really got my work cut out for...
あ、見直したかもこれ。
Parlor is completely back to normal. Thought he'd maybe just clear away the detritus, but the room is so spotless I can't help but be impressed. He must have felt bad for wrecking the place. It's not his fault. I doubt he would have gone to the trouble otherwise. I guess I ought to commend him for being a more decent guy than I.
日はとっくに昇っているぞ。また、随分とだらしがないんだな、君は。
I retract my statement. There isn't a remorseful bone in his... You literally forced him to clean up your mess. Like, what the fuck?
おはよう。そういうあんたは随分とリラックスしてるよ。
何？一晩過ごした部屋だからな。どこに何があるか把握したよ。おう。ついでだから厨房も片付けておいた。もう少し荒れているかと思ったが、なかなか気の行き届いた厨房だ。一人暮らしの洋館にしては上等だな。
Yeah, and remember he didn't get told what to do while she was sleeping. Great, amazing. I have a headache. Why do I have to put up with the servant judging my interior decoration? Thought servants all cared only about fighting. Are we sure this guy isn't effective? So she thinks that assassins and casters only care about fighting.
なるほど。本調子ではなさそうだな。昨夜は元気だったが、睡眠をとって疲れが出たのだろう。うん。紅茶でよければご馳走しよう。
Acting like he owns the place. Without missing a beat, Archer produces a teacup, fills it with the expensive reddish tea he's been brewing. I thought... Wait, reddish tea? He just said black. I hope you like it black. There's a lot I want to say right now, but oddly enough, I can't work up the indignation to. The way he does it all is so refined. Got to admit, he might be rather cultured.
まあいいけど、疲れてるのは事実だし、飲む。
I sit down on the chair. The teacup is placed soundlessly in front of me. I take a sip. Oh, it's delicious. I expected as much since it's my favorite Chinese tea. A spring harvest hongcha. I'd be upset if it didn't taste good. On that note, I'd normally be upset if someone used my favorite tea leaves without asking it was literally for you. It makes me mad, but the tea was brewed so exquisitely that the pleasure it brings overcomes my anger.
ちょっと、何笑ってるのよ、あんた。
I poisoned your tea, Mihikata.
何、感想が聞きたかったが、その顔では聞くまでもないと思っただけだ。
I set the teacup down with a forceful thud.
もったいない。熱いうちに味わった方がいいぞ。私が気に障るなら消えているが。
ごちそうさま。結構よ。私は茶坊主が欲しくてマスターになったわけじゃないわ。あなたもね、頼みもしないことをする必要はないわよ。
そうか。確かに私も茶坊主になったり後片付けをするために契約したわけではない。君がそういうのならばこれからは気をつけよ
う。ええ、私が求めているのは戦力としての使い魔よ。家事をこなすサーバントなんて聞いたことがないし、する必要も特にないわ。
ん？特にはないとはどういう意味かな？
別に好きなようにとって結構よ。それよりあなた自分の正体を思い出せた？
Archer shakes his head in the negative. That doesn't bode well. If he can't remember after a single night, then his memory probably won't return easily. There are some measures I can try today, but...
わかった。あなたの記憶に関してはおいおい対策を考えとく。じゃあ出かける支度をしてあっちゃん。召喚されたばかりで勝手もわからないでしょ。街を案内してあげるから。
出かける支度？いや、そんな必要はないだろう。出るのならばすぐに出られるが。
あのね、そんな格好で出歩くつもり？どう見ても普通じゃないし、他のマスターが見たら一発でサーバントってわかるじゃない。私、自分から私はマスターですなんて言いふらす気はないんだけど。
ああ、そういうことか。それも問題はない。確かに着替える必要はあるが、それは実体化している時だけでね。サーバントはもともと霊体だ。非戦闘時には霊体になってマスターにかける負担を減らす。
Yeah.
ああ、そっか。召喚されたって英霊は英霊だものね。霊体に肉体を与えるのはマスターの魔力なんだから、私が魔力提供をカットすれば。
自然。我々も霊体に戻る。そうなったサーバントは守護霊のようなものだ。レイラインでつながっているマスター以外には観測されない。もっとも会話程度はできるから偵察ならば支障はないが。
わ、便利。それじゃあ本当に他のマスターを探し出すなんて難しいんだ。
ああ。だが魔術師は魔術師を知覚できるだろう。それと同じでサーバントもサーバントを感知できる。優れた魔術を知るサーバントならば遠く離れたサーバントの位置さえ把握するだろう。
Archer has it in one. Masters are supposed to be capable mages, and the more magical energy the mage has, the better they are at detecting traces of magical energy. As far as I know, however, there isn't anyone else around with that degree of power, except the caster.
で、あんたはどうなの？ 他のサーバントの位置わかる？
マスター、私のクラスは何か忘れたのか？遠く離れた敵の位置を探るなど、騎士上がりにできるものか？
Actually, yes. As an archer, yes. A saber, a lancer, no. A rider, no. An assassin, a berserker, no. So if we're gonna say servants can sense other servants from far away, caster obviously, and archer would be second. So like, what the heck? He has a point, though he doesn't. Archer's magical energy isn't on that level. It's not even about magical energy. It's like that. It's likely that only the magically powerful caster is capable of easily locating distant foes.
わかったわ。じゃあとりあえず後についてきて、アーチャー。あなたの呼び出された世界を見せてあげるから。
そう目新しいものではなさそうだがね。それよりマスター、君、大切なことを忘れていないか？
I know this is stuff that you're only supposed to pick up on your second playthrough, but yeah, I doubt it'll be particularly new to me. Like, what historical hero would say, "Oh, the modern day? Yeah, that nothing new to me. I know what the modern day looks like." Like, wait, why do you know what the modern day looks like? Oh, don't worry about it.
え？大切なことって何？
まったく。君、まだ本調子ではないぞ。契約において最も重要な交換を私たちは未だしていない。
Most critical
契約
point.
において最も重要な交換。
No, that can't be it. The chance to take part in the Holy Grail War is already reward enough for a servant. There shouldn't be anything else left to trade.
君な。朝は弱いんだな、本当に。
Archer sounds exasperated. His oh-so-sardonic manner of speech finally gives me an idea. Come to think of it, he's never once called me by my name.
ああ、しまった。名前。
思い当たったか？まあ、今からでも遅くはないさ。それでマスター、君の名前は？
That's actually weird that he
これ
says
から
that
は何と呼べばいい？
since he won't give his name. Like this. Archer sounds sulkily. Oh man, he really is a decent person. I'm sure of it now. After all, there's no tangible benefit to exchanging names. Servants are forcefully bound to their masters by command spells. While names are key to contracting with a regular familiar, there's no need for a master and servant to be so intimate. But it's important to Archer. He's clearly trying to establish trust between comrades, regardless of the command spells.
私、遠坂凛よ。あなたの好きなように呼んでいいわ。
I answer in a clipped tone, unwilling to let slip any admiration. He'll probably just call me something impersonal like Master or Hey You, which works out just fine for me. Except... Archer chews on Rin Tosaka for a moment.
それでは、リンと。ああ。この響きは、実に君に似合っている。
He says something really forward.
リン、どうした？何やら顔色がおかしいが。
Oh my gosh, I'm a Japanese girl being called my first name. It's too much for my heart. Like, freaking stupid.
うるさい。いいからさっさと行くわよ、あーちゃん。とにかくのんびりしてる暇なんてないんだから。
Is this now that I think about it, is that an Asian thing? I should like look into that, like, because I believe everybody in Europe for sure goes by their first name in the United States. But yeah, I'm not sure about Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Like, do they go by their last names? I don't think they do, but like apparently Japan does. I had to learn that over many years, but it's like it's kind of weird to think about. Like, wait, does any other countries do this? I turn on my heel and storm away huffing. This is so infuriating. I'm not even sure why. Damn that Archer. Did he say that just to mess with me?
ありえる。こいつなら絶対そうだ。
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Must be all part of his plan to get me all flustered. I better be careful. Gotta work with this wise guy from here on out. take Archer outside. Fuyuki City, my hometown, is broadly divided into two halves. There's Miyama, which is left over from the village the city grew out of, and Shinto, the developing modern region across the river. My house is in Miyama, the old part. Miyama is split into two areas. The European-style neighborhoods originally inhabited by immigrants from abroad, and the old Japanese-style houses set against a mountainous backdrop. Both areas are situated on hilltops along the outskirts of town. The street dividing the two residential areas is fairly normal by comparison. How normal, you ask? This normal. This is a crossroad of Miyama. On one side lies the road going up the hill to the European neighborhood where I live. Opposite is the road to the Japanese houses, and between them is a path leading into Shinto. Where my school and the shopping area are, as well as the Ryodo Temple, is the mountains. Okay. We come to the bridge connecting Shinto and Miyama. Years ago, a big train station went up in Shinto, bringing with it frenzied urbanization. They may belong to the same municipality, but Miyama and Shinto couldn't be more different. The name Fuyuki, written with the kanji for winter tree, is supposedly inspired by the long winters here, which, by the by, are pretty long. Despite that, temperatures are warm. Like what? Then how is it, if they're pretty warm, then how can you say that they're long winters? February here is only about as cold as the very start of winter elsewhere. What? Then how do you have long winters if February is as cold as like November or beginning of December or something? I bet if you randomly started digging, you'd turn up a hot spring or two. That means nothing. Though of course our temperate weather disqualifies this town as a hot spring resort location. We've got an odd climate where the mild winter suddenly turns to springtime bloom come April. Mild winters. Mild long winters. Which is like, okay, I get it, but it's still weird to say like, our winters aren't bad, but they're long. It's like, doesn't that mean it's like extended fall then? Like, who knows? Whatever. Don't think too much about the description of. I think the description of the city might be like the worst. From what I remember about Witch on the Holy Night and Tsukihime, the description of the environment, of the location of the city, of each of the cities, was like the worst part of the game, because it'd be like, oh, you get a vague idea of a hill and a vague idea of like downtown and like not downtown. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, they're very bad at describing the towns. This is what Shinto looks like. Number of tall buildings been erected as if in a hurry, giving hastily developed city a distinctly artificial feel. Not really. It all happened in the last decade or so too. 10 years ago there was a large fire that wiped out a residential area. This is wrong, by the way. 10 years ago there was a large fire that wiped out a residential area. Like, you can, this is like, they're saying this, but this is the equivalent of like at least 10 residential blocks were burned to the ground. At least 10. It probably, it depends on the anime. I think in Fate Zero, it's like implied to be like like 1/4 of the town. And then like, I think in some other flashbacks, it looks more like, yeah, more smaller, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Someone built a bunch of glass and metal buildings on the depopulated land. Depopulated. And here is the center of it all.
ここが神都の公園よ。これで主だったところは歩いて回ったわけだけど、感想は?
I don't remember Shinto Park at all in the anime. I'm sure they went there at some point, but don't remember that. I asked Archer, who's next to me. Of course, he's invisible.
広い公園だ。だというのに人気がないのは何か理由でもあるのか。
やっぱりそう見える？まあ、ここはちょっとした曰くがあるから。
I look out over the park. You'd think that a wide open space like this would have children playing in it, even on a weekday. But instead, there are only a handful of people. The place feels dull and lifeless.
10年前の話よ。この辺り一帯で大きな火事があったんだって。火は一日燃え続けて、雨が降り出した頃に消えたんだとか。
Yeah, they're making a bigger deal of this in this version of the story.
その後町は復興したけど、ここだけはそのままなの。
Oh, no? I guess not.
焼け野原になって何もなくなったから公園にしたらしいわ。
So it was already a meadow, and then it got burned. And then they turned it into a park. Archer says nothing, but I can tell he sensed something odd, even if I can't see it.
気づいたみたいね。そうよ。ここが前回の聖杯戦争決着の地。私も事情は知らないけど、前回の聖杯戦争はここで終結してそれきり。
This isn't true. What? This isn't true at all. They never fought in a park in Fate Zero.
なるほど。それでこんなにもここは怨念に満ちているというわけか。
Nope. That doesn't make sense.
わかるの？そういうの。
サーバントというのは霊体だ。そのあり方は怨念、猛襲に近い。故に同じ無念には敏感なのさ。街中でも濃い場所はあるが、ここは別格だ。我らから見れば固有結界のそれに近い。
Yeah, I don't know why they single out this part. I don't know. Tusaka mutters under her breath. Archer's inflectionless voice mentions an unusual bit of magical jargon. In 8 bounded fields, mages call them reality marbles. Reality marbles are considered one of the apex of magecraft. They're said to be infinitely close to true magic. For the last few centuries, bounded fields have served as mages' defensive barriers. Quite simply, they're like a home security system with surreal teeth. Bounded fields are conventionally erected on a piece of land or a building to guard against outside threats. They're merely an alteration of an area that already exists. Reality marbles, however, are something else entirely. You can think of them as space that consumes reality itself. It's a domain expansion, basically. When a mage materializes their imaginary world, a representation of their mind, and overwrites their reality with it, we call the resulting field a reality marble. It's a large area magecraft that twists, no rebuilds the world according to a mage's wishes. No, it's not a mage's wishes, it's a servant's wishes. Mages can't create reality marbles. Mostly. Rin, something wrong?
ちょっと意外だったから。こういう結界だなんて、アーチャーのくせに珍しい言葉を知ってるなって。
なんだ、知っていてはおかしいか。
だってそうじゃない。固有結界っていうのは魔術師にとっては禁忌中の禁忌、奥義の中の奥義だもの。アーチャーであるあなたが知ってるなんて筋違いよ。
Reality marbles aren't taboo, by the way. I don't know why she said this. They're just reality marbles are more like just very, very old and very, very impossible to make. That's all. I shoot a quizzical gaze in his general direction. In reply, I feel an incorporeal sigh.
リン、英雄とは剣術、魔術に長けたものを指す。アーチャーだからといって弓しか使えないと思うのは勝手だが、私以外のサーバントにそんな楽観は持たないでくれ。
Oh, that does make sense when he puts it like that. Actually, that makes sense. Actually, most servants will never fight somebody who uses a reality marble. That is not a normal thing at all.
わかったわよ。今のは軽率な発言だったわ。次からは気をつけるからこれでいいでしょ。
リン、ズバリ言おう。君は優秀だが、それゆえに他人を過小評価する欠点がある。成人するまでには強制したまえ。
That's true.
何気に失礼なこと言うわね、あんた。
Now that was a really big thing he said. For break my habit, he's talking about me like an unruly racehorse.
いや、失礼。別にリンがジャジャ馬だと言ったわけではない。単に イメージ通りの表現を使っただけというか。
なおさら悪いわ。
My right hand suddenly flares with pain.
リン、
ちょっと黙って、あーちゃん。
The command spells on my right hand hurt. They're throbbing, almost like a dull alarm warning their owner.
誰かに見られてる。
I scan my surroundings. I mentally weave a detection web and cast it out over the park.
私じゃ見つけられない。あーちゃん、あなたは？
難しいな。私には視線すら感じられん。
ってことは、見てるのはマスターね。
I don't know who it is, but if Archer can't tell, then it must be a master. Or caster, but don't worry about that. We don't have Vol 7 yet, but the fighting could still start at any time. Maybe whoever's watching me is up for an early skirmish. I am actually going through every master in the whole Grail War right now in my head, and from what I can think, I guess, okay, there, well, I can think of one. Yeah, I can think of one only. Berserkers is the only one I can think of. She's the only one that has real magecraft skill.
レイジはレイジに反応する。マスターでありもな、誰がマスターであるかは出会えば感じられるということか。だがそれならリンにも相手が識別できるのではないか。
ええ。けど高位の術者なら自分の魔力ぐらい隠し通せる。いくら霊樹同士が反応するって言っても、その霊樹だって魔力で発動するものよ。
厄介だな。ではこちらはいいように位置を知らせているということか。
でしょうね。まあ私だって家探しすれば魔力殺しぐらいは見つかるだろうけど。
必要ないと？
そう。だって隠さなければ向こうからやってきてくれるでしょ。こっちから出向く手間が省けるわ。
Which is funny that she says that because of everybody here. Of everybody here, there's only 2 who are actually aggressive. I mean 3 technically, but I don't count them usually. Archer doesn't respond. Maybe he's irritated with me.
何よ、自信過剰はいけないって言いたいの？
Actually, technically just 2. I just remembered the third person I was thinking of. They actually weren't gung-ho about fighting, but the servant was like, "Oh, I want to fight," and that's why that happened. I ask a little defensive, thinking of our earlier exchange. Archer mentally brushes the question aside.
君はそのままが一番強い。はあ、小物には付きまとわせてやるがよかろう。
I mean, they say this, but like Berserker could easily show up. Yeah. So, okay. I can feel the smirk in his tone. And Berserker would just flatten them. So like, oh, good job, idiots. I'm not saying I like what he said, but it is enough of an olive branch, I suppose. We start walking around town again. I spend the day taking him to old important places and even drop by some less significant spots that might be useful to know. After dinner, I make for our final stop. It's now after 7 in the evening. This is a good chance to show him the best vantage point in the city. Oh yeah, I know that they use this angle in the anime even. The Wind House. We're atop the tallest building in Shinto. Commanding view of the city makes for a fitting end to our tour.
どう？ここなら見通しがいいでしょ、あーちゃん。
I feel like they should have started with this view, but okay.
はあ、将来君と付き合う男に同情するな。よくもまあ、ここまで好き勝手連れ回してくれたものだ。
あ、何か言ったあーちゃん。
素直な感想を少しと。確かにいい場所だ。初めからここに来れば歩き回る必要もなかった。
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, this would have showed him basically everything.
何言ってるのよ。確かに見晴らしはいいけど、ここからわかるのは街の前景だ
But
けじ
he's
ゃ
an
ない。
archer, so his
実
eyes
際
are
にそ
better
の場
than
に行かない
anyone
と
else in the
街の
whole
作りはわから
war.
ないわ。
Like yeah, you still go to some spots, but like, you know, not as many for sure.
そうでもないが、
Yeah.
アーチャーのクラスは伊達ではないぞ。騎兵は目が良くなければ務まらん。
Another example of her being stupid.
そうなの？それじゃあここから家が見える？あーちゃん。
いや、さすがに隣町までは見えない。せいぜい橋あたりまでだな。そこまでならタイルの数ぐらいは見て取れる。
That's pretty good.
嘘。タイルって橋のタイル？
I didn't expect his vision to be as good as the telescopes I often see on rooftops. Sharp-eyed doesn't begin to cut it. I mean, he's literally a magical hero from history. Like, what the heck were you expecting?
びっくり。アーチャーって本当にアーチャーなんだ。
Archers really are made up of archers.
リン、まさかとは思うが、君、私をバカにしているんじゃないだろうな。
そんなわけないでしょ。たださ、あなたってアーチャーって言われには弓使いっぽくないからつい勘違いしてただけ。
それは問題発言だ。帰ってから追求しよう。
With that, Archer goes quiet for a while. He must like the landscape from up here. He's probably considering the layout of the city. I shouldn't interrupt him while he's thinking. I step away from Archer and approach the edge of the rooftop. All I can see from here are the lights below. Headlights flow through the streets, and I can make out people on the way home from work. I can't tell what kind of cars they are, or who exactly is walking. I can see them, but not clearly. It's not unlike how I could tell someone was watching me earlier, even if I couldn't pinpoint them.
少なくとも神道を根城にしている奴が一人いる。
I squint down toward the ground. There are 7 masters in total. I don't know who they are, nor which servants are with them. At this point, every master is probably gathering intelligence on their rivals. Suddenly, I feel someone's eyes on me. There's no reaction from my command spells. I simply sense that someone else is looking at me.
下。
I peer down. People are walking on the street. Well, one in particular is gazing up at me as if staring at the moon. I'm not sure exactly who that is. I can't say for certain, yet I know exactly who. I can't believe that guy. What's he doing out this late?
リン、敵を見つけたのか？
Who's she talking about? It's hard to say. I mean, it could easily be... It kind of could be anybody. No, it can't be him, though. It can't be... Well, no, it could be him, though. No, it could be him. Archer calls out to me. Maybe he can make out my rising hostility.
別に。ただの知り合い。私たちには関係のない一般人よ。
Actually, then, if she's saying this, then it must be Shiro. There's no one else it could be. Because if she's saying he's a normal person, she knows that that Shinji isn't a normal person, and she knows that the church guy, I forget his name, I'm blanking on his name right now. The church guy is not normal. So who else would it be that she would know? Can't think of anyone. Unable to clamp it down, I irritably snap back at him and step away from the roof's edge. He couldn't have seen me from the ground. I'm sure it was just a coincidence. I haven't given myself away. And yet, my maid side is screaming at me for allowing an eyewitness to catch sight of me. You're just on a rooftop. By the time I get back to Miyama, it's 9 p.m. Unlike Shinto, Miyama is mostly residential. After 9, there isn't really anyone outside, and the streets are silent as if it's much later at night.
こんなところね。街の作りは大体わかった？
ん？ああ、町のことならわかる。 あとはおいおい掴んでいくさ。
なら今日はここまでね。私もまだ本調子じゃないし、家に戻って休みましょう。
I started up the hill at a relaxed pace when I noticed someone up ahead.
あれ、さくら？
Okay. Uh-oh. Now it would not be a good time to run into her. Why? Weird.
リン、何を隠れている？
黙ってて。あそこにいるの知り合いなのよ。今日は学校休んだし、あんまり顔を合わせたくないの。
Does she really not think that Sakura would be a master? That seems weird. As I answer, I keep an eye on her. In the middle of the street, there's the first year student I know. Oh, what the fuck? What? What the fuck? I don't know the context of this at all. Even based on the anime, I don't know the context of this at all. Also, oh my gosh, the art on Gilgamesh is so bad. What the fuck? And a foreigner, I don't. They're talking. No, it looks more like he's trying to pick her up. While she'd rather be anywhere else.
リン、知り合いとは外国人の方か？
いいえ、知らない。この辺りは洋館が多いから、どっかよそから遊びに来てるんじゃない？
I think maybe this was... No, I don't know for sure. It could have been in the movie. I'll have to look into that. Even as I finish the sentence, I'm mentally telling myself off for being so soft on the girl.
あ、じゃあ、あいつ人間？
Yes.
さあ、
Oh?
実態はあるから人間なのだろう。
Oh.
少なくともサーバントではない。
Oh, that's how they're doing this? Okay. Yeah, sure.
そうよね。マスターでもないし、ただの血は喧嘩か。
Though even I know that she isn't the sort of to get caught up in something like that.
二人とも言ったな。女は坂を登っていく。男は。
He knows you're there. The blonde-haired man descends via the street we came by. He knows you're there. Okay, yeah, that's it.
そ
Okay.
れじゃああなたはここを使って。私はもう眠るけど、何か質問はある？
Is this gonna be 100% omitted? I could have sworn that maybe not. Yeah, maybe this is entirely omitted by all of the anime.
とりわけ重要な疑問はない。すぐに戦闘を仕掛けない君の判断は正しいよ。
ええ。それじゃあ明日、今朝の紅茶をよろしくね。
Make me that tea again. Is this really the end of the day? I guess we'll see. Once I'm back in my room, the fatigue washes over me.
そうだ。眠る前に綺麗に連絡しないと。
Yeah, the church guy. Kirei Kotomine. Right. That annoying priest left me a message. By now he's probably sent for the backup mage. It isn't my problem, but he is my legal guardian. I owe him a phone call at least.
電話と。
Punch his number in the phone. Before long, he picks up the fake priest. He's a real priest, by the way. I just want to throw this out. He is a real priest. So she's just insulting.
綺麗？私だけど、昨日サーバントと契約したから、正式にマスター登録お願い。
There's a brief pause. Curate's silence is deafening. I can feel its weight even through the earpiece.
いいだろ。ではどうする？一度こちらに顔を出さないか。君のご両親から預かっているものもある。君がマスターになった場合にのみ、成人前に伝えてほしいと頼まれている
If
の
you
だが。
became a master before adulthood?
それって父さんの遺言のこと？それならもう解読して手に入れたからいいわ。それじゃ気が向いたらお邪魔するからよろしく。
Oh, are you talking about father's will? He didn't say that that's what he was talking about. And why would he have her father's will and she has a copy of the father's will? You know, like, huh? Anyway, yeah, she doesn't like talk to him, but still, like, what the heck? Like, no, actually, it was not the father's will. Though, Yeah, it's not the knife. She got the knife as a child. I actually don't know what it is that he has. I guess we'll find out later.
待てリン。マスターになったのなら
I hang out before he finishes. If I have to listen to Kirei nagging while I'm this tired, I have a feeling my magical energy will drain away instead of recover. Nagging? Like, her biggest complaint about Kirei is his nagging? Really? And like, what the heck would this be like if she actually had her parents? As if Kirei nags more than a normal parent? Yeah, right. Once I open my eyes, it'll be a brand new day. 10 years ago, my father fought as a mage in the Holy Grail War and lost. Now it's my turn. That's one way to put it, but yeah, sure. Now it's my turn to risk it all for the same prize. Don't wake up in the middle of the night. Don't wake up in the middle of the night. Don't do it. Don't wake up. Don't do it. Don't do it. I feel like she's going to wake up. I guess we'll find out. Oh. And after breakfast, I lay out my... Okay, well, I think the prologue is still going on, honestly. But I think I'm going to end it there. So, you know, the next stream will be very momentous, I think. We'll see what happens. We'll see. But, we'll go ahead and save it on stream. Wow, my first stream... Yeah, I didn't go back and check. Oh my gosh. Well, that's not quite accurate. What's the time? I think I just had it on a menu for like an hour or something, so it like threw off the time. So, because yeah, I should be closer to like 3 hours, but yeah, like, was my first... Let me go check that real quick. Was my first stream really 1 hour? Like I thought it was like 2, and then, oh, okay, this is gonna be 2 hours. Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, it was like 1 hour. Okay, we'll have to try to catch up. I'll try to have at least a 4-hour stream tomorrow. That shouldn't be too hard, but yeah, I was supposed to have a 4-hour stream today, so hey, we'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. See ya.
Are there a bunch of little girls in this one too? Hello, girls!